And now we are live on YouTube. Hello,
All right.
YouTube.
Welcome, YouTube. Let's admit all the
Okay.
members.
Where is
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, Denny, Dian, Didi.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
hello?
Didi,
Morning.
Dian, Denny,
Morning.
Oh, this is the first
Good
Ramadan
morning.
class, right?
Aldi, of course.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Show us
Okay.
your full energy, guys.
Okay.
How are you guys doing? Good?
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Good, but still sleepy, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I literally just woke up like 5 minutes ago.
Like, you're not the only one, man.
And
So how was the fasting, guys? Is it okay?
It runs smoothly.
Oh, smoothly.
how we are fasting, guys?
Maybe you guys
All
can
the
turn on
others?
your camera, if you don't mind.
I'm not fasting.
You're not fasting.
I'm fasting,
Wow.
Renee.
I'm on my period.
Yeah, we fully understand that actually.
Yeah. That sucks.
You can eat all day, yeah.
But I have to repay it, right? I have to make renovate, and yeah, it means like I'm on debt.
Got it. You have to right to do fasting like the other day, right? The other month.
Okay.
Why is it so quiet in here?
I think because it's fasting.
Yeah,
Fasting.
it's not the reason. Hello guys, show yourself. Come on.
Wait a sec.
Also, you might want to greet
I think we have to stay home.
members.
Okay. The participant is enough. Oh, Renee, can you please add the conductor?
Yeah, I'm still texted him. Wait a second.
Okay. Please wait, guys, for the conductor. Okay, Didi, how's your fasting today? Hello, Didi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay.
Yeah.
For Aldi,
What?
how about you? Your fasting today?
Yes, my fasting was great. Even I hungry and thirsty.
Right.
Same here, hungry and thirsty.
Just don't be it. Even your turn off your camera, Aldi.
What?
Okay. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
what's that?
Oh,
I think we can turn on our video to get to know each other, right? Before we start the class. So show us some wonderful energy, guys. If you don't mind.
That's
Even though
right.
you just woke up like me. Hi, Dian. How's Ramadan in Thailand? All good?
It's pretty much the same everywhere. Today I woke up at 4 to cook, and then yeah, it's pretty much the same.
So the duration is like literally the same, right?
Yeah.
We're like in the same area, yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
Actually,
mhm.
nothing really matters in there. And that's good.
It's very hot here.
Oh,
Like today, it's gonna be 36 degrees. So
dang.
I don't know how I can survive.
And
Okay,
probably like the other people can eat some days and you can't. That's the challenge as well, right? Okay, Elsa, you can take over.
Kak Wibi, are you already joined with us? Halo, Kak.
Wibi.
Hai, Kak Wibi. Welcome.
Hi, Wibi.
Sorry, Wibi, your voice is mute.
Oh, right. Sorry. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for being late.
Okay.
I actually just woke up 5 minutes ago, so I had to wash my face.
It's okay.
As you can
Everyone does
see,
too.
this is Ramadan, so you kind of sort of sleep at 4 a.m. again, and you just kind of end up sleeping very late afterwards. Right. Anyways, thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate it. I'm again sorry for being late. I think I'm 10 minutes late to the call.
Yeah, that's okay, Kak Wibi. Thanks for coming to our class today. My name is Elsa, and I will become your MC for today's class. Even though we are fasting, we have to stay healthy and active, like during this class, of course. Please prepare your ear and eye because the topic is today. It's so fun. Okay. Wait. Maybe I tell you about several announcements. Wait. I can share screen right here. Okay, can you see the screen? My screen,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Yep, we can see your screen.
Nice. Wait a minute. Okay.
Kak Elsa, I think
Okay.
we have
We
a
have
newer
several-
version of the announcement. Do you need me to share the new the files?
We have a new announcement.
Yes, we do.
Okay, Rama,
Let me
can
share
you
the screen ya.
help me? Yes.
Go on, Kak Elsa.
Okay, thank you, Rama. Okay, guys, we have several announcements. Welcome to the large English community in Indonesia. This name is Britzone. Okay, for everyone who was not really familiar with Easy, especially the new members, Britzone is biggest free English community in Jakarta. There's so many people who are our volunteer, including our committee and conductor. And we provide you guys free classes so you can learn to practice English without having to pay anything to us. Okay. Next slide, Rama. Okay. The Britzone have 3 different classes in a week. The first one is Britzone Speaking Academy, and which is usually held on Tuesday, start from 7 p.m. until drop. In this class, we have discussed everything like relate to public speaking, such as speech, debate, interview, and many more. And next, this is a second one, Britzone English Betterment series, which is usually held on Wednesday, start from 7 p.m. until you drop. This class have discussed the basic skills English like listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Next. And the last one is today, Britzone Fun Day Class. We start the class on Saturday, of course, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. In this class, we discuss various fun topics, just like we're gonna discuss today. Oh, there is it. There is our social media account. Our main platform is Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and Britzone English Community Clubhouse and with Britzone ID, and wow, Britzone have a podcast, of course. You have to, if you want to get more information about upcoming class or events, so you can stay on the Britzone ID. Okay, we also have a new platform. This is a Bizimers or Bizimers. Yeah, this is a have t-shirt or tote bag, and you can scan to order here right now. Like sticker part, of course, anything, another t-shirt. Okay. We also sponsored by Perpustakaan Dikbud, so you can sign up for becoming member of the library to access impressive research, audio and video collection. And then this is after class tradition. This is taking picture, and you give us feedback to us and this link. So you can stay on your WhatsApp group to give us feedback, and you will be given in WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay, guys, we are going a very exciting topic today. Did anyone know about the topic that we will discussing? Anyone?
About a game.
Okay.
Is it about a game?
Esports.
Sport, right?
Genshin Impact.
Anybody? We have going discuss about game. Yeah. So here we go. Please, Kak Wibi, the time is yours.
Right. Thank you. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're good.
Right. So
Sounds good.
today I'm just gonna talk about the topic today. Today we're gonna be talking about a couple of things in the gaming industry. I'm me personally, I'm pretty well versed in esports, but I do play games since I'm 8 years old. And I've been using games to sort of even further my career even more. So I want to talk about how we can use games to, create a career, to make our lives, our career at least better. So game is just not a hobby. We can also use it for a lot of other things. Anyways, so I'm gonna share screening my PowerPoint as well? Right. Okay. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
Let me open my. Give me a sec. Oh. Right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it.
All right. So the title, or at least the title of what I'm going to use today, is how do we develop developing your career through gaming. My name is Emrashat Wibisono. You can call me Wibi. My Instagram is Wibi Irbawanto. If you see my Instagram being tagged. So throughout this conversation, throughout this discussion, you can just call me Wibi anytime. Right. So about myself, my stage name is Wibi Eightken Irbawanto. You actually read the 8 in Japanese, so you actually read it as Hachiken. I'm an esports commentator that has appeared in, amongst other events. I've been in MPL season 1 to season 4. So if you watch MLBB, I'm in MSC 2017 and 2018, which is the Southeast Asia for MLBB. I've been in Piala President 2020 as well for MLBB. And I've been in PMPL Indonesia season 1 for PUBG, amongst other things. I think this is one of my bigger events that I've done on the later stage. I've done a lot more events since 2016, but I feel like Mobile Legends and PUBG Mobile has been one of the biggest esports titles to date. So I'm only listing this because I think I could list a lot more, and I don't think we'll have time to just go through that. The picture on the right side is the official announcement from MPL when I was doing the playoff for season 4, so the semifinals and the finals. I was with a lot of colleagues that are very high profile as well. I've known them since basically forever. But yeah, so I just want to talk to you guys about what the problem is with gaming. The problem with as when we talk about gaming, there is a lot of stigmas around it. When we talk about gaming, we know that our parents or our grandparents or just generally people older than us, one generation above, has a very negative stigma, right? It has, and like it makes people feel that, hey, if you play too much games, you're not really studying. If you play too much games, you're going to fail your education. If you play too much games, it's not really good for you. You're gonna have glasses. It's not good for your eyes. You could get addicted, and a lot of other things. And then, aside from that stigma as well, there is also the fact that if you've never jumped into a game or you've never started playing games from a younger age and you just started playing recently, it has a pretty decent skill ceiling that requires you to put an actual amount of time to study the game, right? So you can't simply just pick up a phone or pick up your console or download a game on your computer and then expect that you get instantly good. It's also a process. And if we're talking about the career side of things, the industry itself is not really settled as compared to a more conventional industry like the energy industry. So like oil and gas, renewable energy, and then we have the metal industry, and then we have the construction industry. They're all very settled. If you go into that industry, your career is pretty much set. Like you know where you're going. But with gaming, with esports, it's not as fixed, even though it's a growing industry. A lot of the market leaders are actually filled with very young people. Oh, right. So as a background, I graduated from Trisakti University. I'm actually a law major. I actually went to college with Rini as well. And currently, I'm a business development in PT El Nusa Fabrikasi Konstruksi, which is one of El Nusa's
Rini Group.
subsidiaries. Yeah, so I'm part of Pertamina Group as well. So
It's a Pertamina group, right?
yeah. So I'm sort of talking to this, like I've been in the esports industry for 6 to almost 5 to 4 to almost 5 years. And then I made that switch later on because I feel like the industry is not settled. But I do love gaming and I still do it on the side. Right. So, but then even though there are negatives, what does the gaming industry actually has to offer? First,
Yeah.
it's actually a very fast evolving industry that is planned to reach around 545 billion US dollar by 2028. So it's not 545,000 billion rupiah. It's actually US dollar.
US dollar.
So
Yeah.
you put an extra 3 more zeros there if you want to convert it to rupiah. The Indonesian market is led by relatively young market leaders. So what it means is that when you have young market leaders, that means when you come in, you still have a lot of chance to prove yourself. You have when you jump in, there is not a set of you can still disrupt it. The word I'm using is disrupt. You can still disrupt the market with your ideas, because a lot of people are still young. So a lot of people are still sort of trying to figure out what's the best way to make money in esports, what's the best way to do things in esports. So and the career track itself also prioritizes merit, because there are still a lot of young people, so they don't really go, oh, I'm still older than you, so you kind of have to wait for me to retire first, then you can take my position. It doesn't really work that way, like how we do it in conventional industries. So it prioritizes merit. It doesn't really care if you're young, even though, say, there is a market leader at that has been in the industry for, say, 7-8 years. You come in with really good track record, you come in with actual progress, you can go up there really, really fast. One of the examples is Mr. Ibnu Riza. Mr. Ibnu Riza is currently the head of Indonesian Esports Association. He actually came into the industry not more than 3 years ago, but he's already taking a really high position, even in an organizational sense. So it's actually really interesting that it actually focuses more on merit than it does your experience or your age. So if you kind of want to try to jump into the industry, it's definitely one of the industries that allows you to be more creative about how you want to do things. So then the question would be, what are the careers in the gaming industry? A multi-billion-dollar industry. The gaming industry is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. There are many gaming careers options to choose from, both on the technical and the creative sides of the field. So if you have the commitment, the skill, and the drive, like, the possibilities are endless for you. So these are the kind of careers in the gaming industry that you can go to. So there's game design, there's software developer and game programmer, there's audio engineer, there's games animators, games artists, interpreters and translators, there's gameplay tester, and professional gamers as well. So let's talk a bit about game designer. Like, are you brimming with ideas for video games? Game designer is definitely for you, because this job requires you to design a lot of things, but not in like drawing sense, but more like how it's basically like writing a book. So you have to develop the storyline, the characters, and you have to work with the creative team about the direction of the art and a lot of the other things. This is actually pretty fun, and I've talked with people even in the local industry that sort of does this as well, and they do a lot of like they make a lot of PowerPoints, they make a lot of proposals, they make a lot of basically pitch decks that sort of tells them, oh, this is how you kind of want to do this. This is how you sort of develop a game, which is super interesting. And then there's there's the developer side of things as well. So if you're a programmer, this is where you sort of want to jump into the career if you actually are interested. As a software developer and computer programmer, you'll turn the game's design's vision. So like the game designer has this vision, and for that to sort of move into like an actual game that you play, this is where they make basically the magic happen. And then there's the audio engineer as well. If you've ever played a game without a sound, it's actually not as interesting. Yeah, the sound in a game actually plays a lot of the aspects to how you're able to absorb the medium from the storyline that is created by the game designer. So audio engineers, if you like audio, if you like to play music, it's one of the best things that you can do. I have also another friend as well that I've talked to that has made music for games, and the way they do it has been so mesmerizing that it's actually pretty amazing that if you just try to play a game that you like, that you very much love, without a sound, it feels very different. So like if you like doing music, if you like mixing, if you like audio in general, audio engineers, and if you actually done audio engineer stuff for like movies, games is actually a really cool like industry to join as well, especially in the gaming industry. So and then there's also games animator. This is where you like if you like to draw, if you have the skills to visually appeal to the players. This is where you create your characters. This is where you sort of a lot of the games animator just creates the still characters that the games designers draw or use visual keys to. They make it come to life, and it's all sort of magic when you create or when you watch how games are created. And I'm glad that I've met a lot of people that has been doing this in the industry, because just seeing a game coming from 0 to 100 has been super cool. And then also there's also the game artist. The game artist could be if you are artistic, if you like to draw, if you like to design, a career as a game artist could be an actual perfect fit. When you're trying to make a game look as realistic as possible, or you're trying to go for like a more retro look, a stylized look, like a steampunk look, all of the visual elements, this is where the games artist actually does their job. And then also there's also the interpreters and the translators. I think this conversation and to what Britzone is trying to do, this feels a bit more relevant, because when you play a game, if say the game was made in China and there is no interpreters or translators to sort of make the game from English, sorry, from Chinese, from Mandarin to English, the game is now then not really accessible for the worldwide market, because not a lot of people speak. Well, actually, there's a lot of people speaking Mandarin, but then it's not really accessible to the Western countries or to even to Indonesia, because not a lot of us also speaks Mandarin. So the interpreters and translators is actually a really interesting job, because they it's not like, you know how you live interpret people. This is basically just sort of like doing a lot of subtitles and then changing from the actual language into a better language, even to the extent that they also create that language like a copywriting, which is super cool, super interesting. And you know, it's definitely out there to make things like even better, because like I played a game called Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMO, and the interpreters and the translators, and also the voice actors is doing so well when they switch the game fresh, which is made in Japan, basically by from Japanese language. Then they change it into English, and the game feels. A lot of people even say the game feels better in English. So that means as an interpreter, as a translator, you're doing a really good job in being able to give the same or even better experience in another language as well. So also the other two last careers, but not least, that is being stated here is the first one is gameplay tester. This is actually one of the more common jobs to exist in the Indonesian gaming industry. I think one of the companies called Agate, which is also a gaming a gaming corporation, so a developer corporation, a gaming developer, my bad. It's also hiring for gameplay testers. Now, sort of like this is where we just sort of play a lot of games. But as a gameplay tester, this is not, in a sense, it's still a job, because you're basically playing a game that is bare bones. So it's still on like alpha, pre-alpha, which the game still looks really ridiculous, that it's not onto its end phase, and there is still a lot of bugs that you have to explore. You kind of have to write it down as well and tell the game designers and the game programmers to sort of like, hey, look, there's a bug in this game. There's a bug in this game. So you basically just sit there and test the game before you can even launch it to the worldwide market. The good thing is that, sure, you actually experience the game firsthand. But at the other thing is that it kind of can feel very stressful, because you're sort of tasked to find all of the like loopholes, all of the bugs, and all of that for the game programmers to fix. So it's basically just quality assurance, but for games. And last but definitely not least, this is one of the more interesting, more variety, which is professional gamers. this is basically the promised land, because can you actually believe that you're making like a living out of playing video games, and not the gameplay tester kind of games, the games that is already ready, you're ready to play, and you're making money out of just basically playing something that you actually like. So professional gamers is basically there's two kinds of professional gamers. I'm going to talk about the esports athlete kind. They're basically paid similarly to a soccer player or to a basketball player. So they actually make a lot of money as well, right? But one of the caveats is that you kind of have to always stay on top of your game, because there will always be other competitors behind you. And it actually makes it a very like it's very competitive, and for you to get up there it requires a lot of time, a lot of grinding, and basically putting your heart into that game, to the point that professional gamers in Indonesia and in the world practices 8 to 12 hours a day, and not like just playing games with your friends, no, but like actually practicing, actually having a like a teaching plan, actually having a coaching plan, that oh, you have to fix this, oh, you have to fix that. You talk about strategy. And Indonesia recently had an esports, we call it pelatnas, pelatihan nasional, for esports. And the selection for coaches is very rigorous, to the point that they actually asked all of the coaches that wanted to apply for the national team for esports, so for Mobile Legends, PUBG, Free Fire, AOV, Wild Rift, they actually have to give an actual coaching plan. So it's not just playing games, but it's basically competing in like a game title. And if you ever got into it, if you ever played or joined a tournament and then tried to join into an even bigger tournament in the games that you're playing, it's really really interesting to see how people are competing. um, and there are still careers that I haven't mentioned here, but it sort of jumps into the sub industry later on, so I'll talk about it as we sort of go on. So, professional gamers and the esports industry. Being a professional gamer is an entire industry on its own. It basically, the esports industry cannot survive without the actual gaming industry, because if there's no games, there's nothing to compete on. But the esports industry by itself is a really thriving industry, both in Indonesia and around the world. That tournaments actually goes into like 2 million views concurrent. So it's basically reaching into the levels of actual television, to the point that it's actually being streamed into television because how popular it is. Like when I was doing Piala Presiden 2020, it was also streamed into television because how popular it was, and it's an entirely different SOP when you're sort of doing it in front of TV. Um, but right, yeah. So I'm looking at the chat. There's people saying like obviously like real sports competitions. Totally agree with you. It is actually like a real sports competition, and of course, Tagar is saying that you love RPG with cinematic cutscenes. That's where game animators. That's where audio engineers. That's where like game designers just sort of do their magnum opus. That's their career. So if you've ever loved all of the RPG with the cinematic cutscenes, you love watching those cutscenes. That's where it's at.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Right. Sorry, I was into. Anyways, going back to the slide. So being a professional gamer, it's an entire industry on its own. It's more commonly known as the esports industry. So no, you don't really call it the professional gaming industry anymore. And the career you can pursue is like what you can pursue in the conventional industry, in the conventional sports industry. My bad, there's a typo there. So it's basically a very similar business model to what you would do if you have like a basketball club or a soccer club. You have coaches, you have analysts, you have the managers as well, and then there's basically a lot of things there. You have the players, and then even some even in the bigger gaming organizations, there's actually it's not just coaches. They have nutritionists, and then they have psychologists, to just sort of have that very holistic coaching plan, because they even have their own physical personal trainer that helps them get in shape all the time, because what you basically do all day is sit on your chair for 8 hours a day, and that can get very, very tiring, and you can get very, very lethargic really, really fast if you don't have a good stamina, if you don't feel good about yourself, if you don't actually handle your food with care. Because when you have to sit down 8 hours a day and you want to be able to concentrate for the entire time you're doing your practice, you have to be in tip-top condition, like not just mentally but also physically. But and mentally as well is in the fire, like it's a different story entirely. You kind of have to keep your head up in shape. You sort of have to have proper breaks between playing games, because you need to be able to refresh so you can absorb more knowledge and more practices as you go. It's very similar to like this an actual sports industry, more than you think. And there are also professional gamers that aren't athletes. um I totally agree with you, with you, Dion. 8 hours a day is an actual regular job. When you're becoming a professional gamer, it's not a side gig anymore. It Because you're getting paid. So I'll disclose this to you guys, but I was talking to some of the Dota players that actually from Indonesia that recently joined over to a Philippines team. They were consulting their contracts with me, and uh, the amount of money that they get paid a month is around 100 million rupiah a month. So they're making 100 million rupiah a month. That's basically double a CEO's salary. At that point, that's a full-time job. That's entirely a full-time job. So they make 90 to 100. The managers are making 25 to 30, and it's actually a really interesting career when you try to do it fully. Um, but yeah, then there's also professional gamers that aren't athletes. This is what we call game streamers. So and yeah, Dirjan Paya go like, oh wow, you guys are making so much money. And it sort of actually kind of happens because I've had a time where I was in MPL season 1, which is one of the start of Mobile Legends Pro League as a shoutcaster. And then at the end of season 4, people that sort of came in from the countryside at season 4, they started arriving into press conferences with BMWs, with Mercedes. So they're making a lot of money in that process. And as the industry grows, they're getting paid around 20 million. Like in the local industry, they're getting paid like 20 to 25 million a month. That's before all of your sponsorship. So if professional gamers does streaming as well, that's an extra 20 to 25 million, and then plus the sponsorship that's added, you can make around 60 to 70 million a month just by playing games in a phone. So in hindsight, it's super cool, but the process itself is very rigorous. Yeah, exactly. When money is mentioned, everybody's turning like, oh, everybody's up for it. And like the price pool for the international Dota 2, as stated here by Ilham, is that yeah, it is actually 47 million US dollars. So when you're playing on that level, it's a lot of money. But people that can get to that level in TI, in the international Dota 2, you can only have 16 teams times 5. So you have basically only 90 people, but the people that plays games are in the millions. So you're 90 out of 2-3 million players that wants to get into your level as well, much like soccer players. Like soccer is being played worldwide, that but the teams that play is basically it's less than 1 to 2% that is actually part of the professional league. um, Right. So then the other part, if you okay, so I don't think I have enough time to play games like an actual athlete, 8 hours a day. That's not for me, right? But I do enjoy playing games. But I do enjoy And I feel like I have a fun personality that I can sort of like, I would enjoy live streaming. Then game streamers is where you're at as well, because game streaming doesn't really uh one of the requirements for game streaming is not for you to be good at playing games, but there's a lot of things, but you kind of have to be fun for people to just sort of watch you. But then that's sort of subjective, so you kind of, it's being a game streamer basically is an entirely different sub industry that you sort of have to plan out. Oh, so what's your target market, what kind of games do you want to play? And even in this like, even in this sub, there's a lot of levels and layers of things that you can really pull out, because you have to sort of set up, like, it's basically making a YouTube channel, but you're doing it for games. And as you know, it's a different ball game entirely as well. Yeah, like PewDiePie. Like oh, surprisingly, Tagar, if you play Stardew Valley, in there's actually now an esports for Stardew Valley. So it's not really milking cows, but making a farm entirely has an esports by itself. So Stardew Valley is the titular sole successor of Harvest Moon in PC. So yeah, like, it's there's actually a lot of games now being made into esports. So there's a lot of things that you can sort of explore there in regards to if you really actually want to like try joining the esports industry, or even just stream it. Like, if you stream it, then like PewDiePie actually took a 4-year process to get where he is right now. He started out with literally only thousands of viewers. In 4 or 5 years, he becomes the current PewDiePie you all know. Like, and that's sort of where the interesting part is. That's really interesting to just sort of see. Right. So outside of, say, let's talk about, okay, so I do enjoy playing games, and then I do sort of like watching people compete in esports competition. But I already say, let's say I already have a job. I already have a full-time job. So basically what I'm doing when I'm playing games is just, I'm just wasting my time, right? It's not actually like that. So there are ways that you can sort of advance your skills in playing games. Like, if you're already pretty set in your career and you don't feel like making a change into the gaming industry feels that it's too risky, that's very standard, right? You don't want to waste all of your effort, say, joining into like me, like oil and gas industry, and then suddenly switching over to an industry that isn't really set in stone, right? It feels like it's still an economic bubble. Games can still advance your career even conventionally. So games is just a medium for literature, much like arts and books. Games are basically just an interactive medium for people to just sort of learn and enjoy. So games is just another form of literature where you can just sort of like put your phones or put your keyboard and your put your keyboard and your mouse, or like your console when you're playing in like the PlayStation or Xbox. That's basically just a medium. That's basically the game designer being an author for the game, telling you the story of the game, right? And the effects of games and simulation in higher education, using it for education, has shown promises according to studies. Basically, in the International of Education and Technology of Higher Education in 2017, they actually made a research and said that simulation games actually helps you study better, which is even more interesting because so it's actually a really interesting subject to just sort of do. Like, basically, Steam recently, one of the game developers that recently had a sort of a simulation fest, a simulation week festival. This is basically all of the simulation games that is in Steam is on 50% discount. And so simulation games nowadays gets really intensive, very complex, and so much so that some simulation games are used for professionals as a way to practice. And professional is not in a gaming sense, but in a conventional industry sense. Does anybody here watch F1?
Sometimes.
All right, yeah. So, but if you've been watching the one recently, there's Lando Norris in McLaren and Max Verstappen and Red Bull, which just won their 2021 champion. They actually use racing game simulations as a way to practice. So Renault and the Red Bull Formula Academy actually incorporates racing simulation games to teach academy drivers. So basically, people wanting to go to F1, using racing games because it's so much cheaper than putting a car like $2 million car and renting a racetrack for you to practice. So racing game simulation is actually used in actual racing drivers. So it's actually a really interesting thing to see because when it was COVID and we had races being held in 2020, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen started streaming on Twitch playing racing game simulations. So it's actually really interesting to just sort of see that simulations actually used for actual professionals in a very different field to use it as practice because simulation games are definitely out there now. And one of the other things is that James Baldwin is actually a simulation racing esports athlete. So he's not an actual racer. He's a simulation racing esports athlete. He actually won a GT3 professional competition against actual race car drivers. So it shows that from simulation racing, you actually can evolve into an actual proper driver. So of course, it does require you to learn how to drive first, but a lot of the practice that you do from games, you can put that directly into the real world. And if you like watching football or soccer, as I would say it, Fulham Football Club has incorporated player analytics networks like used in Football Manager. If you like soccer and you like actually playing the manager games, you would know what Football Manager is. It's basically the best manager simulation for football. And yeah, a championship manager. Fulham FC actually uses that and incorporate that into their into how they find players, they scout players in 2017. So games and simulation games is actually really intensive to the point that people are actually using this to advance their businesses, to advance their careers in real life. And not like in the gaming industry, in actual sports industry, in actual basically like how if you a lot of pilots, pilots that is currently going to school, so pilot schools also uses some sort of flight simulator made by Microsoft to actually teach pilots before they actually jump into an actual plane, the controls and how you do it and how you actually fly. It's actually a really interesting a view when you sort of see people actually just sort of like it feels like they're just playing games. But what they're actually doing is they're actually practicing to be an actual pilot for so it's actually very interesting to just sort of see how simulations is actually being incorporated into like real life. I recently played this game. So I'm a guy that basically, aside from F1, I have no clue about cars. So conventional cars that you use to drive between A to B, I don't really understand the insides, right? When you talk about F1, I understand the entertainment value of it, but I'm not really a car geek. But I recently bought a game called Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, which is in Steam, and I was like, oh wow, I bought this because it was on discount. It's kind of interesting, and it's something that I've never really known because I have a car, right? So I kind of want to know if my car is broken down or something's happening to it. I kind of want to know how to fix it. So I bought Car Mechanic Simulator, and when I played, I was surprised by how detailed the game was to its every minute. So a lot of simulation games nowadays, car simulator, not car simulator, car mechanic simulator. So you become in bahasa Indonesia you become kita jadi montir. So we basically become a mechanic. Yeah. It's actually really interesting because then I started to learn all of the small parts that exist in a car, things that I actually don't know. But if you were to learn it from a book, or if you were to watch, if you go into a mechanic shop, like a car shop, it kind of gets really boring because they're just sort of doing, they just sort of sit there. You sit there and watch them fix things, which doesn't really teach you a lot of things. But when you put it into a game, and in games you don't actually have like a real time simulation, because then it gets too long and too boring. It just sort of tries to compress it in a really fast way, like not to the point that you don't understand it or it doesn't feel real. It actually feels very real. It just makes things a lot of makes things faster. Basically, when you have to lift like an entire machine from your car, uh, uh, it takes at least 3-4 hours for people to actually lift that into the machine lifter. But in a game, it takes basically 2 clicks, right? But it sort of teaches you all of the small accessories and all of the small machineries in your car, to the point that I haven't been able to stop playing the game because it's really fun. It's really interesting to do all of these car restorations that basically just broken down, and I just sort of learned how to fix it and built the machine from zero. So Goat Simulator is actually a really interesting game. Goat Simulator is basically, it's isn't it just a comedy of like, it feels like you're playing like basically you get points out of doing wait, not really nothing, but just being a goat. And yeah, because there is a reward. There's actually like and Goat Simulator actually exists. And Asto, there's actually a reward because you have like in-game credits that you get in Car Mechanic Simulator that you might not directly get if you open a mechanic shop straight away. But in Car Mechanic Simulator, in the first 2 hours, you can already feel the money coming in. So that sense of reward actually helps you focus more into an objective. Yeah, if you look at Steam or if you just Google it, there's actually a game called Goat Simulator. It's literally just you being a goat. It's super fun, and it's sort of mind-bogglingly. It helps you ease your mind because you play a game that basically just makes you not do anything. Right. Anyways. Oh wait. Oops. So let's go into discussion anyways, because we're already sort of doing a lot of discussion. So if you have any more, feel free to contact me through Instagram in wibi.irbawanto if you have further questions, or if you just want to talk and discuss further about games and more. I've been playing games since basically 8 years old in PS1. So I do hope that with my experience, I could share to you my love for games. But yeah, let's actually start discussing things. Is there any questions from you guys throughout that presentation, or is there anything that you guys want to discuss?
Okay, guys. Are you have a question to Kak Wibi?
I have one. Can I?
Okay, maybe we still there is a FGD to discuss about the material, of course. Okay, Kak Wibi, are you have done?
Oh yeah. So for the we'll talk about the FGD right now. So how do you do this? Do you like make groups and then just put them into breakout groups?
Okay, correct. Yes. Let me to start. Next, we are going to have a forum group discussion where every participant will be divided into 5 groups. And we have 5 fossil. The name is Kak Arif. Hi, Kak Arif.
Hi, Elsa, hi everyone.
And hi Karini. Where is the Karini? Yeah. And Kak Mus.
Hello.
Kak Mus. And Kak Denny.
Hey.
And Kak Dika.
Hi.
So we have 5 facilitators and who are ready to lead the discuss in each breakout room. Okay, now everyone will join to breakout room and discuss more about material. Okay, can you Rama break out this room? Okay, guys, see you in break room.
See you guys. Actually, there's going to be a discussion here in the main room. So if you're not invited to one of the rooms, that means you're going to do the discussion here.
Okay.
Live on YouTube.
All right. So where should I be? Should you just sort of like roam around or?
Yeah, so maybe you can just follow the discussion here in the main room because
right.
Rini is going to take the lead.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Go on, Rini.
All right, guys. Hello, everyone. Who's in here? I see. Wait. I'm on my phone. There's Dian, Ezra, Arina, and Ilham. Hello. Mind to turn on your camera, guys. Actually, see each other, even it's virtual.
All right. Hey guys.
Happy to see you, Kak Ilham.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, guys. All right. Oh, hi, Kak Dian.
Hello.
There's Kak Asto, Kak Sarah here. So, guys.
Yes.
Okay. So, we're going to make a game proposal, I guess. And at the end of the FGD, we're going to represent that to the others. So let's start from the concept, I guess.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah. Go on.
Right. So when I was making this FGD with Rini, this is we actually had a couple of discussions, but we sort of decided that you know what would be interesting is that because I saw that there was a lot of enthusiasm in you guys in talking about games. Let's try to put our roles into sort of like a game designer, and let's try to sort of create like basically the idea is that if you were able or if you're allowed to make a game, what kind of game would you want to make? And that we want to be able to talk about what the genre is of the game, and basically just the concept and the storyline of the game in like in a very mini proposal. But yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm explaining the FGD, right? Okay.
But
That's
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game proposal, right? We have
so
to think about the concept, the storyline, the genre, I guess. Yeah, kan?
yeah, and like yeah, and also like talk about sorry for cutting you off there, Rini, and just sort of like talk about like your character direction, like if it's basically it feels like you're making a story, but you're trying to put that into a game. So
Yeah.
if you're the titler or like the big title would be, if you're able to or if you're allowed to make a game, what kind of game would you want to make? So we kind of just like discuss all of the concept and what would make it interesting, not just for like you guys making it, but so like not you guys just making it, but also what would be interesting for your market? What's your target market? Who are you trying to approach here? Say if you like playing horror games, what kind of storyline do you want to do? And all that kind of stuff, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the different thing here. No, we're going to put everything in one place. We're going to make a proposal, guys. So it start from just like what we said before. If you in a position to make a game, what would you want to make? And so basically we're
Harini,
going to
sorry.
discuss what.
Karini, sorry. So previously, I have no idea what happened. So that everybody got to the main room. But I'm going to open the room once again, and let's see if I have made the right options. Okay. So I think everybody has a clear idea about the FGD. So have fun in your room.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't see it. Thank you, Rob. So who's staying in the main room again? I forgot. It's Kak Ilham still here. Kak Dian, Kak Ilham, Ezra, Sarah, dan Arina. So there's 5 of us. Okay. Okay. So I think it's clearly understand, yeah, guys. So we can start from what kind of game we want to make. What do you think, guys? Do you have any idea what games do you want to make? What game do you want to make? Maybe just like, I don't know, Genshin Impact. Do you know Genshin Impact?
I know.
Hi. Who's speaking?
What just happened?
It's happening again.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Oh, sorry.
Is there any? Okay.
I literally have no idea what's happening. Wait, you guys.
I have a wrong click.
Maybe
Yeah, I think
you
there's
said
a glitch.
leave the kid out of this. Maybe you set the timer wrong or something.
No, I have set it for like 30 minutes.
Okay. Maybe you forgot the 0. Just a thought.
Okay, let's just wait and see, guys.
Okay, it's okay, Rob.
Hi, we're back to the main room.
Sorry for the interruption, guys. I'm sorry.
I guess Sim is playing games on us.
Maybe this is a game.
Maybe we're in the Matrix and there's some glitch.
Yeah, I think there's a problem in here. Just time soon. So Rama, can you fix it?
Yeah. No, just go on, Rin.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay. Hope it's going to work, yeah. Okay. All right, Kak. Do you have any idea, Kak Ilham, Dian, Kak Ezra, and Kak Arina, about what kind of game we want to make? Kak Dian, I think you mute yourself. Are you talking right now?
Sorry, I'm reading the message.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's start from the genre. I think I love adventure, so I love the games that tell us stories. So I would like to go for an adventure game, maybe.
Okay, an adventure game.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about the others?
Okay, guys? Do you agree to if we make a proposal for adventure game? I think adventure game is more like Genshin Impact is adventure game, right? It's a sample of adventure game, or
Yeah, it is.
Wait,
It is
are we
a
talking about like MMORPG thing?
yeah. Maybe you
But
can
yeah.
join us. Maybe you don't have to mute yourself.
All right, so
Okay.
Genshin Impact is definitely an adventure role playing game.
Yep.
And
Yep.
as Kadian would say it, that he loves adventure games. But for me to sort of just have this group discussion going, would you then consider that RPG sandbox game is where you put the adventure into the player's hands? Because there are RPG games that has a linear storyline, and then there's a sandbox game like Skyrim, let's say, that allows you to create your own story as a player.
I see.
So you
Okay.
give the directive into the player to create that story. So there's two ways to develop that story, because like in sandbox games, every player has a very different experience to how they experience the game. But that doesn't mean that that's the best kind, because there will be people that might not have the best experience. In a linear storyline, everybody has the same experience, and then you sort of allow the game designers, the voice actors, the people that creates the storyline to tell a very movie-like experience when you play the game. So there is a lot of things that you can sort of explore there in the genre as well. And I'd love to have you guys just sort of like talk about it in detail.
Okay, thank you, BB. So, if we want to make an adventure game, yeah, it's MMORPG. Is it what we call it, right?
So MMORPG is a multiplayer game. If you just sort of like play RPG, like if you've played Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, that's just an RPG game because it doesn't really let you do multiplayers. So then, like the genre and the subgenre is massive in the gaming industry. So it would be awesome if you guys sort of like start talking about what you guys like. Then we can sort of like compromise into one genre and just talk about it together. So I think we can agree on adventure. So then we can just sort of decide what kind of adventure that we want to go for from here. You know?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Kadian? Well, what's your idea? What do you have in your head right now?
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to make. I don't know. Honestly, I have so little knowledge about games. The last game that I played was like Super Mario Bros.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I didn't have the privilege of playing games a lot in my life. So, but you know what? If I had to do something here, I think I would like to remake this Super Mario Bros. Maybe make the story more complicated and more relevant to the young generation nowadays.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think that would be
because it's like everybody can relate to it. It's old but gold.
Yeah. Kadian, if I were allowed to ask, do you like reading a lot of books, like a lot of fiction books?
Fiction, no, not recently.
But what was the one fiction book that sort of like imprinted on you?
Honestly, I've never finished reading any fiction books.
Oh, so okay, right. Like any novels at all, or like manga or anime?
Zero.
Oh, okay, right, fair. So Super Mario Bros. We're gonna remake it into a more relevant and less plumbery, but maybe perhaps someone in university debt trying to make money because they have to pay their like school loan, possibly. So, anyways, like let's go on with that conversation. Let's see where we end up with that idea.
Anybody would like to weigh in?
Okay, Kak Ilham, do you have any mind? Do you have any words regarding rebranding ya? Berarti rebranding, rebuild the Super Mario Bros.
Majapahit time.
Majapahit.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I was like,
You're freezing.
Yeah. I think you have an unstable connection, Kak Ilham, but I'm still waiting for you to connect it again because I'm pretty curious. The storyline behind Majapahit.
Extra copies
yeah.
into an action adventure RPG game.
It's kind of a war
Sorry,
game.
what does RPG stand for?
RPG stands for role-playing game.
Oh, role-playing
So,
game.
so you play into another character.
Okay.
As well. So you don't play as yourself. You play as a character that
Alright.
was already created.
Just
I
like
also
Magic
like this
System,
idea.
right?
This is brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But where is Kak Ilham?
This left.
Oh my God. After he threw an idea, then he left. I hope he's back again. And I want to know about Kak Ezra and Karina. Hello, Kak Ezra and Karina. You mute yourself in the whole FGD. Do you want to? Oh, Karina. No. Kak Arina, Kak Ezra, what do you think about the rebrand to rebuild the Super Mario or Majapahit? Do you have any idea?
Well, that's a great ideas. I like both.
Okay, so you like both of the ideas. And if you do you have any mind? Do you have any short kind of thing? What we want to do if we rebuild the Super Mario Bros? Do you have any idea?
Well,
Maybe
for Super Mario, because I've been playing too, I think it's a great idea. Maybe we can change the graphics with a better graphics. Where maybe the adventure of Mario or somewhere, maybe in a city or and maybe we can the gamers will choose what equipments that the Mario should bring, like maybe using a guns or what. We give a challenge like a monster, or I think I like the game with a fight and war and something, so maybe we can customize it like Mario versus the monster or what. Yeah.
Whoa! That sounds cool.
All right. So, Ka Arina, if I were to interject and just sort of state, what if we just sort of like a funky idea, because just because this is really funky and we're able to just be creative about this. How about if you've ever played games like Kingdom Hearts, it's basically a mixture of a game called Kingdom Hearts and then all of the Disney characters. If we want to be like really, really funky about it, we can just sort of like, so Super Mario Bros. Suddenly jumps into a time machine, and then he went over to the Majapahit times, and then he has to explore into this hit era as an Italian plumber trying to save the princess, right? And then we can talk about what Bowser could be in the Majapahit area, because of course back in this era. It's okay, Kyle. We're just talking about how we can incorporate Mario, and then they suddenly jump into a time machine, and then now we're arriving into this historical piece called the Majapahit era. Then we can either go from the Majapahit era from where it started to grow, or when it's already growing, about to reach its downfall, and we can just sort of have that discussion. Because like, okay, then it gives you two things there. First is that for Indonesians, it gives you an aspect of, oh, this is what Majapahit was like back in the days. And at the same time, for people that definitely plays Mario Bros, it gives you an image of, oh, we're playing as Mario, someone that we already know, someone we already recognize, but jumping into a very different setting. Then we can be totally funky about it and totally fun about it as well. Right? Yeah, and then we can go Mario versus Gatot Kaca. Gatot Kaca is in fact the Bowser that is keeping the princess, and or like Hanuman is doing that one. And we can have that just a very complex and then very interesting story to just sort of talk about from there.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Oh my god, Mario Bros. Got into the time machine and threw into Majapahit
Oh, you
era.
already gave us the idea.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
If I
cool.
have an
That's cool.
ability to make that game, I will definitely go for it. And where is Kailham? I saw, but yeah, he's back to offline again. I think he's have a very bad connection there. And actually, to be honest, I forgot what happened in the Majapahit era. I forgot. Is it a war, right? There's a war. That's why they fell. They fell on that.
I think there's so many things that happened at time.
Majapahit is definitely has a very rich history and a very long one as well. So the one thing we can do, we can pick like one timepiece from that and then see where we could go from, because I remember that the story of how Majapahit was created was actually a lot of like political strives, a lot of hiding, a lot of like and that would be pretty interesting as well. Oh, Kailham is back.
Kailham, can you halo Kak? Kailham, can you give us a short brief in Majapahit era? What do you might want to turn off? Yeah, maybe you have to turn off your camera, Kak. It's okay if it helps you to join with us. It's okay, Kak. You can turn it off and start speaking. No, I didn't hear you. But I see you didn't mute yourself, but there's no sound. I think you forgot to connect the audio to your, now you mute yourself. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it? I'm really sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Connection issue.
It's definitely okay. So you were talking about how phrasing into like a historical timepiece for the Majapahit, and then Karina and Kadian decide to, hey, what would be interesting if we have if we do Mario Adventure, because everybody played Mario, and then I just sort of spurred out the idea that what if Mario jumped into a time machine and then arrived in Majapahit, and then suddenly now we have to beat Mario.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody was asking if you could sort of just explain to us what kind of the timepiece, or like at least a bit more about Majapahit for us to be able to sort of like create like the start and then the climax and then the ending and the solution.
Oh, it's
all right. I don't really know about the details, but I think we can start from the time when Majapahit in its peak, so that everyone can see the surroundings of Majapahit, the peak of Majapahit at that time, and then Mario can explore the areas around, and then how Majapahit handle the political things, how they handle the war things, and how they live their life at that time, I think. Because there are lots of games that tell us about historical stories from other countries, like Ghost of Tsushima. They talk about the samurai time in Japan, and then we have games like when they tell you the story about medieval thing. So I kind of like want to see that we have our own game about our historical times. Especially Majapahit was a big empire. No, not empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingdom.
They have Gajah
Kingdom,
Mada,
yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah, I think we can put Gajah Mada too. And
Oh,
Mario can do what is it can do.
Kayak he's traveling around to expand the territory of Majapahit with Gajah Mada.
Yeah. Maybe Mario can
What
help
do you
Gajah Mada conquer another kingdom.
How about this? How about since we want to sort of give an like an insight of people, or at least an insight of the gamers, the players that will be playing this game, an insight of what Majapahit is about and the historical timepiece that exists there and all that stuff. What if when Mario suddenly moved over into the Majapahit era, he was actually called Gajah Mada. So basically, we play as a Mario, but then he's being treated as Gajah Mada. So we see it right into Gajah Mada's eyes in regards to how he conquered and how he deal with all of these differences in around like as he like assimilation from Majapahit to like the areas that doesn't really understand like the Javanese region, or like that has different religion, then we can have it sort of put into his eyes. But we're actually playing as Mario, and like with our brother slash assistant Luigi. Then we can have
Luigi.
then we can have a very diverse and then like an interesting point of view, because for whatever reason, hey, I'm Mario, but then everybody's calling me Gajah Mada for and we can just make it funky and fun, but then we can still show that aspect of like the game of like Indonesia's richness, but then the familiarity of having characters like Mario as well.
So right now I'm looking at the timeline of Majapahit civilization. So here there are 9 phases. So here what I have in my mind, I would like to break the game into like maybe 8 or 9 levels, starting from the birth of Majapahit to the soldiers of Kublai Khan came, and then until Sumpah Palapa. That's going to be our climax. How does it sound to you guys?
More chronological.
Yep.
So
cool.
So we have the genre, and then we have the general
What
concept.
do we call?
And we have
What
sorry,
genre?
now the genre would be it's basically a historical adventure RPG.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like
That's good.
then we have the general storyline of the Mario brother suddenly jumped over into a time machine as he tried to save Princess Peach, and then suddenly he arrives into the Majapahit era, and now being called Gajah Mada. Now you sort of just see that image of Mario playing the Gajah Mada role and having like the diverse like universe of like what Majapahit was back in the day. And then we already have the storyline as well from Kadia, and then we can make it into 9 levels from the start of Majapahit to Sumpah Palapa. Then we can have varying levels of difficulty and like mini quests coming from all of these, all of these basically in RPGs we can call these levels, or we can call these chapters basically.
Yeah,
like a book. So it goes from chapter 1, chapter 2 to chapter 9.
I'm so excited right now. Because it's pretty cool. Oh, really? I didn't know that we're going to have an amazing game here.
So, like the idea of this, like it's like to make it as funky as possible, not care about like the copyrights issue of just suddenly taking a Mario into Majapahit. Let's think about that later, right? Let's just sort of focus on what sounds fun, what sounds amazing for you guys,
Yeah. It's great. So we got everything, and the market, it's for everyone, right? We introduced the Majapahit era into everyone that playing this game. I think there's no limitation for the ages.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I think we don't have to put age restriction as in other games. So School lah ya,
That's
semua umur ya. Everyone can play the game.
Yeah. So I think we got it. And Kak Arina, do you have any idea? Do you want to add on something on it? Or Kaisra? You still muted yourself, Kak.
I think it was a great storyline. Yeah. Maybe with I add like we can design the power of the Majapahit side, maybe with all of the what is called some weapon equipment like Chris, or Kujang, or whatever. I don't really know. And Mario bring what weapon like that with features and something.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So Mario should hold a weapon, a Chris, instead of a what is it called? Plumber,
Fireball.
pipes. What Kadian? What do you say?
Is it a fireball? Fireballs, right?
Oh yeah.
No, Chris like
Apples.
Chris
Oh, like-
is an
Like the Indonesian traditional weapon, like keris, right?
Chris, yeah.
But the Majapahit sides bring Chris, then Mario bring what like maybe
It's like many other superheroes, they normally have a special weapon, and we're going to introduce Chris as their special weapon in the game.
Oh yeah, I think that would be amazing. Like it was a special Chris, or didn't Gajah Mada use a mace? I think a lot of the time. But anyways,
Mace.
yeah.
Mhm.
It was called Gada, right? Like the really
Yeah.
big mace that he uses as
yeah.
well. So we can have like a Chris which acts like a special magical weapon that can like channel like the like the Hindu god's divinity. And then we can have the mace that he uses to just sort of like clobber all of the enemies that comes, in his way. And we try not to make it too gory or like too bloody or too much war because it's going to be made for like all ages. But then
Okay.
then my question would be who is going to be the biggest villain in the story? Is it
the biggest villain. Let's see.
So I think Kadian mentioned about Kublai Khan. We can
I need to Google it first. Yeah, Kublai Khan.
So we can either use Kublai Khan as the biggest villain, or we can just sort of jump into like a bit of exploration into like the Mahabharata series and have like all of the wayang figures just sort of like start facing him into all of these like 9 chapters as he goes on as well. So we can, and then at the end of the day, we can have like Kublai Khan, and then he was sort of like, let's say, he was controlled by Ravana, which is like the wayang, the giant that stole Sita away from Rama as well. So that we can have like a very funky, very like a medieval Majapahit, and a medieval Majapahit, and it's not really grounded to reality because we're already talking about time machines anyways, right? So like. Then we can have all of these like divine deities, or at least from the story of like Mahabharata, into like involved into the story some way, and we just sort of like have that introduction of, back in Mahabharata there was like a lot of gods. There was like what do you call it? Panewalima, and then there's like Ravana, there's like Rama and Shinta, and we can have like that story slowly incorporated into the game as well, like the love story, and then like the familial and like the brotherly stories and all that stuff as well. So like then the question would be, who is going to be the biggest villain? Like who's going to be like the big MC, the big antagonist in the story that Mario is trying to get and is trying to beat?
Playing Khan and maybe the Singosari. Singosari.
Singosari.
Let me see.
It's pretty cool, see, but I don't have any idea who's
Can I say
the
something?
main villain.
May I say something for that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Sure, go
for
ahead.
the villain, I would say not the biggest villain, but the last villain, I think, which is, I think we can put the Mak Kingdom, because the Mak Kingdom was the last kingdom that just kind of destroyed Majapahit. So I think the conflict between the Majapahit and the Mak Kingdom would be the last chapter or the last step of our game. I think. So the runtuhnya Majapahit would be the last chapter, I think.
Okay, so
Maybe.
the fall of Majapahit.
Yeah, the fall of Majapahit. Yeah.
And then there's gonna be like book 2 of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
We have this big of the battle between the Majapahit and the Mak Kingdom. So, yeah, I think that would be cool,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
That will be amazing. But I think everyone is here. Yeah. It's already.
We need more time.
We need more
I think we
something,
need
guys.
more time. We haven't finished
It was
our
so fun.
discussion. Oh my god! Well, we ran out of time.
I'd like to think that we have the general gist of what we need to be able to present the story as well. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely a work in progress. But if we talk about it, if we were given more time, we could probably make the game like entirely a game from zero out of this. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Wow.
Hello,
Everyone's
guys.
here. Hi, guy outside.
Hi.
Okay, now, okay, how the FGD?
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Really fun, but we need more time.
It was really fun.
Yeah, we need more time.
We
Okay.
already created an incredible game actually in my
Yeah.
group. We will present it later. Okay.
Okay, are you interested become to gamers, guys?
Sure.
After the discussion in FGD, maybe you all interest about become gamers, so you can make money more.
Exactly.
I just like games.
You can combine your hobbies and your career, and you can get money. Okay.
I gotta think about that.
Okay, nice. Okay, now I want to know about your point of view regarding FGD by facilitator. How you result from Fasil? Please, Kak. How Kak Mus? Okay, Kak Mus. Can you representative about for proposal game proposal, making game proposal?
Okay, so actually I got 2 person in my group, which is Denny and Dia. And Denny leave early and I have only Dia. So since Dia is not really into the game, so maybe Dia can share to us her perspective about game itself. Come on, Dia.
Come on. Why do you choose me then? No, because this is my first time joining the Britzone. I'm sorry. So I just observe what kind of activity that we are going to do and what we have done before. So, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm the kind of person who's not playing with the online game. I think I'm the same like Mr. Who before. I only knew about Tetris because I played Tetris since I was child. But nowadays, with the PUBG and everything, I just heard from my son. I didn't play by myself. So I don't have any idea about online games at all. That's why I'm so sorry I cannot, can make like a story about how do you want to be a games developer or any kind of games? Sorry.
It's sorry, can I speak? It's definitely okay, Kak Dia. One of the interesting thing that we had in the main room conversation was that Kak Dia and Karina didn't really play a lot of games aside from like Mario Bros as well. So there was a lot of conversations about what we like to read and then put that into a game. So if there's like any kind of like novels that you really enjoyed or that you really like, you can sort of explore there and create it into like sort of like into a game as well. Because like we ended up not making like into like a multiplayer game either in our conversation. We had a really funky idea as well that we'd love to present later on the main room.
Yeah, and what happened with me and Mr. Muze that we are talking about our personal job and job in the Britzone. So it's like kind of sharing information about what you are doing and now. So it's like kenalan ya in bahasa Indonesia instead of talking about the games itself. So
Yeah,
strange.
since you are the newcomer in Britzone, then you're willing to know more about Britzone. So yeah, we share.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think you can go ahead with another breakout room group.
Okay, thank you, Dia.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Kak Dia. Makasih, Kak Mus. And the next one is Kak Denny. Where are you, Kak Denny?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, please
Here.
need your representative from your group.
Okay. First of all, we have a great discussion in the FGD. Basically, we talk about the games that we have played before and how it fun to play before. We got Uncle Asto, and we got I got two people in my group. They got Uncle Asto, and I think she may have disliked me calling her Auntie Sarah. We got two of the people, and I think Sarah have the best idea for the representative. So please, Sarah, time and place is yours.
Thank you, Grandpa Denny. So my idea is actually like an RPG plus survival plus supernatural. So it's going to look like a little bit of The Last of Us plus 7 Days to Die plus Resident Evil, but instead of zombies, we go for like we're doing like ghost hunting. And it also involves a lot of survival skills, so you're going to have to build a shelter, etc. The storyline is pretty much like someone is abducted and then we're put in a stranded island. They just had to get help, go back to their normal life. But I guess there's a plot twist to that. The plot twist is it was all a dream. So I don't know how to make it into reality, but I think that's a really complex concept. And it would be really fun to make it come true. And it also has this really nice feature where if you play the game for too long, it will shut itself down. So there's like not really a time limit, but yeah, it can detect whether you've been playing for too long or not. For the market, I haven't really thought about it. I think it's mostly for adults. I don't think it's very suitable for children. So yes, that's the discussion in a nutshell. Well, at least for my game.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Well, how about it, guys? It's interesting, right?
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Interesting.
The game that shut itself down. I don't think that feature is you get in any game.
Yeah. Before it's shut down, there's going to be like a warning appear, like you've been playing game too much. Please go outside, something like that.
No. If you include the warning, it's not going to be interesting. You just like shut it. Like, okay, what just happened? Like the FGD previously. So.
Yeah, I guess that's all for us, guys. Back to MC.
Okay, thank you, Kak Denny and Kak Sarah and Kak Asto. And then the next is Kak Dika. Kak Dika.
Okay,
Your
the
topic.
representative is Tegar.
Hello.
Yeah, you can tell your horror games that you made up.
Okay. Right. Right. It's not a horror game actually. So it's like a combination of if you guys familiar with Uncharted, Metal Gear Solid, and Splinter Cell. Yeah. So it's gonna be adventure genre. Yeah, the genre is adventure. So the Indonesian task force is going to send their best, well-talented and skillful agent, guys, like James Bond or Jason Bourne, to unveil the evil secret organization in Indonesia. So I haven't decided name yet, so I don't know. Let us call him Wanto maybe. Yeah. So Agent Wanto is we will send to several regions in Indonesia, to convey the missions, and of course there will be side missions, and it's going to be open world, so you can just roam around and see the beautiful landscapes of Indonesia, or maybe you'll have a chance to chase the bad guys in a Bromo Mountain. Who knows? So yeah, but there's also, as I mentioned before, it's a combination of Uncharted and Splinter Cell. So there will be there will be also a stealth. What is that? A stealth activity is the mission that you're not supposed to be detected. When you play Call of Duty, it's all about bam, 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 But this time, make sure you're sneaking around, and the enemies will cannot spot you. So that's the point of the game idea that I have. Also, Didi from our group share about her idea to make a survival horror games, and also Dika was telling us that he was going to make racing games like Mandalika.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tegar.
Okay, thank you, Kak Dika and Kak Tegar. And then Kak Rini, please, Kak Rini.
All right, thank you, Elsa. Okay, for my group, I think I will choose Kak Dian, and maybe Kak Ilham could assist Kak Dian to help to describe what the wonderful or awesome wonderful game that we discussed before. Okay, go ahead, Kak Dian.
All right, so we had a wonderful conversation in the main room, and Kabibi here has been a huge help. He gave us the ideas that we've never heard before. So we came up with two main ideas. We're going to remake Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. Will jump in a time machine and go back in time to the Majapahit Kingdom. So through first the genre is historical adventure RPG role-playing game. So Super Mario Bros. Instead of calling him Mario, everyone is going to call him Ustad Gajah Mada. So he's going to be the leading role in this game, and the biggest villain is Kublai Khan. And so this is a good opportunity for the game developers to introduce and present the richness of Indonesia history to the world through this game. And and as many other superheroes, also Gajah Mada is going to have a special or magical weapon, which is keris or maze. I'm not sure how to call it. And this the game is going to be broken into 9 or 8 stages or chapters, and it's going to start with the birth of Majapahit to the fall of Majapahit, but it's not going to be the end of the whole game, because we are planning to make book 2 of the game, which is the start of what is it, Singosari or something. Sorry, I'm bad at history. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to do with the game.
Okay, thank you, Kadian. Well, yeah, Gajah Mada Bros. That's what we're going to call this.
That's amazing. Amazing idea. Okay, thank you, Kak Dian and Kak Rini. And how about a representative from Kak Arif? Please, Kak Arif.
All right, thank you, Elsa. So yeah, we've done creating an incredible game. It's gonna be a best-selling game, and we can earn a big amount of money from this game. And our legend Bang Diki will present this proposal to tell you more about this game. Bang Diki.
Okay, thank you very much, Arif. So the idea is combining 2 different games. We are combining GTA and Harvest Moon at the same time. So it will be a Harvest Moon story with GTA format, an open world game. So the characters can go from the farm to the city of Jakarta, selling the products, but also have side missions. And according to Arif's proposals, Arif would like to add some features, like the characters would be able to join Britzones at Kemendikbud in certain times. And I also like to add another features by Arif's idea, that the characters could, we can make an NPC, looks like Arif, and the characters go to Arif just to punch him, you know.
That was not me. That was not my idea. That's you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but it will be more like a near to realistic world. So the characters could get robbed and could fight as well, and could get a ticket from the police, and it could use many public transportation in Jakarta, like Transjakarta or Gojek. So the characters will be able to use the phone to do so many things around it. It will has lives, So when the stamina is getting lower and lower, and finally you have no stamina, you will pass away in a hospital, just like GTA. Then continue the game again. You will have checkpoints. You will be able to attend the nightclubs, and you can customize your characters. So at the beginning of the game, you can choose whether your character is a male or a female. You can choose the skin color, the hairstyle, but it will be limited. But you can unlock the features as the game passes by. So when the game is going from level 1, level 2, level 3, you can upgrade the outfit. You can get some additional vehicles, not only your truck. Maybe at the beginning we will provide you the truck, and then you can have some Lamborghini at the end of the game when you are rich enough to buy it. Yeah, but I like the feature of fighting against other people and killing like in GTA. I think it'll be good. Yeah, that's it, Arif.
Okay, thank you, Bang Diki. And also, I want to add a little bit more from Aldi's idea. He gave the idea about the level, right, Bang? Right. At the level 1, you start as a regular farmer, but at the upper level, you will have your own factory, like cheese factory, something like that. Food factory, something like that. That's from Aldi. And yeah, that's it from us. That's gonna be an incredible game. So guys, please buy our game and let us be rich. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Kak Arif and Kak Diki. And then before we have a tag picture, I have a wait. I have a special reminder for you guys. This is important. This is a little important. So Britzone is going to run clarity event, and we are opening donation that the money will be distributed to the people in Bantar Gebang next week. So let's help the other in needs by donating through the bank account that you can see on the screen. Okay. Where is the donate? Yeah, this the account BCA. The name is Sukmawati. Or you can check it out on our Instagram. Okay. Can you? Okay. Please, everyone, to check our Instagram about the charity event. Okay. It's enough for me. Before we take a picture, how about the Kak Wibi? Back to the Kak Wibi to respond from FGD or of GDK.
All right. So basically to recap, I've been sort of chatting with people on the chat box as well. I think a lot of the ideas are really interesting because like it sort of allows us to just sort of like be creative about our design, and we can just be super funky about it as well. And like this is sort of like where we just kind of want to have fun and want to see like it when you sort of like tell what you wanted out of the game, it shows the kind of interest that you have both in games and like in basically in the literature that you consume. So it's really interesting. And like I've seen like one of the like Phasmophobia X 7 Ways to Die in like in a Jakarta but cyberpunk setting, and then we saw like GTA but like in an entrepreneur of like an agricultural entrepreneur, and then we have the Gajah Mada Bros. So it's basically like a lot of things, and I feel like it's super interesting. I think Asto wanted to add like a racing game as well. Was it?
Yes.
I think it would be awesome if you incorporate that into the GTA game as well, because of course like in a sandbox like RPG game, you definitely have like street racing and actual racing as well, and you can just visit around all of the Indonesian regions to like have fun with that as well. So it's definitely a really interesting idea to just sort of like explore and have fun with. But yeah, like I'm super thankful that you guys are super excited about the topic, because if you don't play a lot of games, or you're not like you're just playing the games for the sake of playing games, like doing this might be kind of confusing at the start. But I'm super thankful that you have a lot of insights and a lot of ideas as we just sort of have this forum group discussion as well.
Okay, give us applause for the Kawibi and everyone. Okay, that's so fun. That's so fun. Here we can discuss about game proposal and excited. Okay, thanks to Kak Wibi as the conductor today, and our facilitator and members in the Britzone class today. So before we end this class, can you help me, Rama, to take the picture to the court?
I'm going to
thank
take
you.
over and count backwards. Please, everyone, open your camera. Kak Arina, Kak Ezra, Kak Aldi, Kak Mus, Kak Sarah, Kak Didi, and Kak Asto, please open your camera as we are going to take the picture.
I think Asto has no camera.
Oh, really? For him. Okay. Please smile in 3, 2, 1. Got it. Thank you so much. Back to Elsa.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank
Please,
you.
please stay at WhatsApp group until you can give us feedback, and we have to increase our class tomorrow and
Yes.
in next week. Okay. Happy fasting, everyone. Thank you for today. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wibi, can you please
Thank
stay
you,
here with
everyone.
us for a while?